All right, so we're almost done with geometry. We've gotten through a lot of different shapes, theorems, proofs, lots of different geometry things. We are almost finished. We're going to go ahead and close out the year with introing to surface area and volume. So we're going to intro into 3D shapes by going over some area formulas for 2D shapes. So we're going to look at rectangles, squares, and parallelograms, which are all three the same formula, and we should have already learned those before in middle school. Triangles, which you should have seen before at least a couple times. Trapezoids, possible. Circles, which we've learned in the circles unit, and a new one, regular polygons. So we're just going to throw up some area formulas and solve a question for each shape. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with rectangles, squares, and parallelograms. They all have the same formula. We're just going to go ahead and do a parallelogram today. My formula is area equals base times height. My height always needs to be intersecting my shape at a right angle. So my slant sides are not the height. My height has to be given to me by talking about going straight down from like a corner down until it touches the base. Usually there's a right angle there. Once we see a right angle noted on some sort of length and then it hits a right angle down at the bottom like we have here, once we have this sort of picture, then that is typically going to be our height. So let's go ahead and say that the height of this parallelogram is 10 feet. And the base of this parallelogram, so the straighter lines, not the slant ones, is, let's go for 6 feet. All right, area equals base times height. Area equals, my base is 6 times my height is 10. 6 times 10 is 60, and we are in area, so that's feet squared. So there's our answer, 60 square feet. So again, rectangles and squares both do the same thing. Next one we're going to talk about is triangles. Again, should be kind of a refresher. Area equals 1/2 base times height. This is one of the only formulas that is not on your reference sheet, but a triangle is half of a square or half of a rectangle. So as long as you know your square and your rectangle, you just take half of it. So 1/2 base times height for triangles. And again, my height cannot be those slant sides. It needs to be whatever is in the middle that makes a right angle with the base. Okay, so my height has to go straight down into whatever the base is with that right angle. Wherever that right angle is probably telling me the height. Let's say that this triangle has a height of 8 inches and my base is 12 inches. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and plug it into the formula. Area equals 1/2 times base times height, so 1/2 times 12 times 8. You can put this all in the calculator. I like to do it one step at a time. So half of 12 is 6, and 6 times 8 is equal to 48, and that's inches squared, and there's my area. Okay. So again, we're just plugging things into the formula, throwing it in the calculator if we can't do the multiplication in our head, and there we go. We have our area of a triangle. All right, next one is a trapezoid. Not very common, but still good to know. My trapezoid area formula gets a little bit longer. It's 1/2 still times the height times the sum of the two bases. So the two formulas previously had just one base, so we just did base times height, right? But a trapezoid has two different bases. It's those two parallel lines, so we have to add them together as the one singular base, basically, like the other formulas. So again, my height needs to always be a right angle, so let's go ahead and draw a height. We're going to say the height of this one is 5 centimeters. My top base is going to be 3 centimeters, and my bottom base is going to be, let's do 9 centimeters. All right, let's go ahead and plug things in. Area equals 1/2 height times base 1 plus base 2. So we have 1/2 times the height of 5 times 3 plus 9. Those are my two bases. I'm going to go ahead and simplify that first parenthesis. So I have 1/2 times 5 times 12. That's 3 plus 9. Throw it in the calculator, right? Or you can do 5 times 12 divided by 2, whatever you want to do, however we want to organize it. We'll go ahead and do that. We get 1/2 times, and then 5 times 12 is 60. 1/2 of 60 is 30, so that's 30 centimeters squared because it's area. Area is always measured in squared units. All right, that's our trapezoids. Newer this year, but we've gone over it before in circles, is our circle area formula. Area equals pi r squared. So we need a radius in our circle. We're going to go ahead and draw a diameter today. Diameter goes all the way through, right? But I just want the radius. So if this diameter is 10, that means my radius is 5. So my area formula is going to be pi times 5 squared. All right, so then we're going to go ahead and do pi times 25. Now remember, we could leave this in terms of pi, so that'd be 25 pi. Let's give this, I don't know, meters, okay? So we would say 25 pi meters squared, or if I want to actually turn it into a decimal, multiply 25 times pi in the calculator, and we get 78.54 meters squared after we round it, okay? So we've done circles before. That one's a review. Remember your radius, you're always using your radius, so you would always need to know just the half of the circle. We don't need to know the full thing. So we're not plugging 10 into it. That's our diameter. We're going to solve for that radius, which is 5, or it'll just be given to us. All right, last one that's new. We have something called regular polygons. Regular means all equal sides. Alrighty, remember to show congruency in geometry, we put our little tick marks. So if I have all tick marks around the shape, or if it says that it's a regular polygon, then that means all the sides are the same. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the new pieces here. So we don't see a height or a base or anything. The formula for regular polygons is area equals 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter. So the apothem is like a radius of a polygon. So it starts in the center, and that line is kind of like a radius height almost. So it goes straight down, and it needs to make that right angle with one of the sides of the polygon. It could go over here. It doesn't really matter where it goes, but it goes from the center down straight, makes that right angle into the base of the polygon, or one of the sides of the polygon. All right, so that's my apothem. So let's go ahead and say that that is 4 inches. And this bottom piece right here is 6 inches, okay? So my area is 1/2 times my apothem, which is 4, times my perimeter of the shape. Perimeter is adding up all the sides. So I have 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, and 6. This is a 6-sided figure, so I'm just going to do 6 times 6 in this parentheses. That's going to give me my perimeter. Or over here on the side, we're going to do 6 times 6 for my perimeter, which is 36. And so now I can change that. So we have 1/2 times 4 times 36. Alrighty, I'm going to do half of 4. That's 2. 2 times 36 is 72 inches squared. Okay, again, if you are using your calculator to solve, then this part right here, it doesn't matter what you don't need to do half of 4 like I just did. You can do 4 times 36 divided by 2, done, every time, right? 4 times 12 divided by 2, done. That 1/2 just means divided by 2, so we can just multiply everything else and then do divided by 2 at the end for all of the formulas that have a 1/2 in them, okay? So that was the only new-ish one. Some of them might be old or we might have forgotten, but there's all of our area formulas. Regular polygon is new, but just another regular area formula. It's like the base and the height of the polygon. It's the one side and the height that goes just in the middle, like a radius. So it's still kind of the same formula. Almost all of these are on your reference sheet. The triangle is going to be the one that you have to memorize. 1/2 base times height. We're going to go ahead and practice area all week long so that when we get to volume and surface area, we have these formulas kind of ready to go in our brains. We know how to plug them in because they're going to become super handy next week. Alrighty, so super close to end of geometry. You guys have done so good this year. So proud of you. I will see you back here next week when we talk about our 3D figures. Have a wonderful rest of your day.